Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're exploring something really quite profound, the hidden side of mantra chanting. We'll be looking at how counting beads during japa, the repetition of mantras might actually connect us to cosmic intelligence. We've been digging into some ancient Vedic sources, and honestly, it offers a whole new way to see this practice.
It really does. And our goal here, our mission for this deep dive, is basically to unpack the spiritual science that these traditions talk about. How can moving your fingers over some beads possibly influence your destiny or connect you to these, well, cosmic forces? We're aiming to pull out some deep insights from what looks like a simple ritual on the surface.
Okay, let's jump right in then, because the source material starts with this really arresting idea. It says every time you chant, someone is watching, not from outside, but from the very core of your destiny. Wow, and it claims the truth is somehow hidden right there in your own hand. How does that work? What's the connection?
Well, it's fascinating. It ties into Vedic palmistry and yogic traditions, which essentially map the cosmos onto your hand. Each finger is linked to a planet and its specific energy. Like the thumb represents fire Agni, which is all about willpower. Your index finger, that's Jupiter, the guru, divine knowledge. The middle finger connects to Saturn, think karma, discipline. Then the ring finger is the sun, vitality, the self. And the little finger corresponds to Mercury, communication, intellect. It's quite a map.
A cosmic map right on your hand. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that translate when you're actually using a japa mala, the beads? Often people use the middle finger to move the beads, right? You said that that's Saturn, the lord of karma and justice.
Exactly.
And sometimes the index finger is used too, which you link to Jupiter divine knowledge, spiritual growth, even sacred witnessing. So what's the significance then? Especially for devotees of different deities, what does it mean?
Okay, let's start with Vishnu and his connection to Saturn. Vishnu, as you know, is the sustainer. He maintains cosmic order, dharma. He's all about balance. Now, these sources describe Saturn in a really interesting way as Vishnu's strict karmic auditor, like a silent observer working for Vishnu.
A karmic auditor. Wow. So the idea is when a devotee chants Vishnu mantras using that middle finger, the Saturn finger, Saturn is literally noting it all down. Every syllable gets stored in your, what, karmic records?
That's precisely the concept. It's like a cosmic accounting system. And the practical side for you, the listener, is pretty powerful. Think about Sadi Sadi, that tough 7.5-year Saturn transit many people experience. The sources suggest that if you've sincerely remembered Vishnu through your chanting, that devotion acts like a shield during that time. There's even a quote they share, Vishnu smaranam papanashanam. Remembering Vishnu destroys sins, or perhaps the impact of past negative actions. It builds resilience.
Resilience. That makes sense. It's not just erasing things, maybe, but strengthening you against them. It really changes how you think about chanting, doesn't it? Not just repetition, but an active recording. Okay, so what about Shiva? He's the destroyer ego, illusion, rebirth. And you mentioned Shiva devotees often use the index finger, Jupiter's finger. What's the connection there?
Right. The symbolism shifts here. Remember, the index finger is ruled by Jupiter, and in this specific context, Jupiter is identified with Lord Kartikeya. Kartikeya is Shiva's spiritual son, commander of the divine forces, and seen as a witness to Shiva's glory. So when you chant Shiva's name using that index finger, Jupiter embodying Kartikeya is your witness, witnessing your faith, your love for Shiva, your whole inner journey. It's like a sacred testimony.
A testimony. So using different fingers isn't just random, it's like sending a specific coded message to the cosmos.
Exactly. It's symbolic language. Your physical actions here are communicating something on a much grander scale. The source material uses this great analogy. It says, just like your phone keeps a call log, your Atma, your soul, has a devotion record. And who keeps it? Planetary forces aligned with Dharma. And here's the kicker. You are not just repeating a name. You are writing on the wall of your destiny.
Writing on the wall of your destiny. Wow, that's huge. The call record analogy makes it so clear. But then how does this devotion record work with our karma? People often ask, I'm devoted, I chant, but I'm still suffering. How does this address that?
That's a really important question. And the answer from these sources is quite direct. Devotion isn't presented as a transaction, like I chant X times, I get Y result immediately.
Yeah.
It's framed more as an investment in spiritual merit, in inner strength, in mitigating karma down the line. Saturn and Jupiter, these cosmic record keepers, are described as meticulous and just, but maybe not immediate. They note everything. Even one round of a mantra, if chanted with real sincerity, isn't missed. It all counts.
So it's like the blessings might be delayed, but they aren't denied. It's a long-term spiritual bank account almost.
You can put it that way, yes. A spiritual investment. And the sources point to two key ways this plays out. First, when Saturn brings challenges and Saturn tests everyone, eventually your sincere devotion to Vishnu, your bhakti, acts like spiritual insurance, a safety net. Second, when life gets confusing, when you feel lost, Shiva's grace, which is witnessed or guided by Jupiter, acts as your inner compass. It helps you find your way.
An inner compass and spiritual insurance. That's very practical, actually. So the message, really, for anyone listening, whether you follow Vishnu, Vaishnava, or Shiva, is to practice with awareness. Know that every beat, every chant matters, but most of all, the sincerity behind it is what the cosmos hears. And it really reframes Saturn and Jupiter, doesn't it? Not as enemies or luxuries, but as cosmic accountants, diligently tracking every heartfelt prayer.
Absolutely. It adds such depth, I think. This deep dive really encourages us to look again at practices we might take for granted, to see the potential cosmic significance woven into these simple, repetitive actions. It invites a whole new level of mindfulness to your spiritual journey.
Definitely. And maybe we can leave you with this final thought, drawn from that ancient wisdom. Japa is not repetition, it is remembrance. And remembrance is recorded not just in heavens, but in the hands of those who rule time and karma. Makes you wonder what other small, everyday actions might be writing on the walls of our destiny without us even realizing it. Something to think about.